Hi, it's Cynda with Choice Medical Group's Senior Kicks Clubs. Today we're going to be working on our craft project of French memory boards. One of the things that these are fun for is keeping little knickknacks, pictures, and things like that just tucked in them. You can hang these on your walls, you can hang them on the refrigerator, wherever you're feeling the need to have a little board at. Some of the things that you're going to need will be mentioned in the video, but it's going to be basically batting, some hot glue gun, your ribbon and buttons, a little piece of fabric, and in today's case we're using a painting canvas as our background. You can use pretty much anything that is square, a piece of cardboard doubled up, something like that. So let's get on with the project today. Well, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to get our little board out that we're using. Again, today we're using actually one of our painting canvases. It has a nice little wood frame that makes it easy, and the wood is soft enough that it's easy to push your push pins in for holding your batting and fabrics and ribbons as you need them. A little piece of batting that we've gotten, you can purchase it pretty much any fabric store, Walmart, Kmart, any of those places. We're going to tuck that on the back side, in this case the front, of our canvas. We need to get this put in place and held in place before we put our fabric on. For me, I found that it was fairly easy just to take my glue gun and that along the edge, put a little bead of hot glue down, being careful because this actually does kind of soak through heat-wise, and just kind of press it over. It held it nicely in place for me. That was a hot spot. I'm going to do it down the sides. Pulling it up a little bit, pushing it in there. Doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to kind of be edged over. If you find like up here at the corner you have a little too much, go ahead and just nip it off. This is going to be covered, so it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. If you're having difficulty getting this to stay in place, grab one of the push pins, set it on that corner, and just push it in place. The wood is soft, and so it'll hold it easily. I'm going to do this again down the same side, the other side the same way. This piece of batting was just a little bit shy of wrapping around comfortably, but still, all it needs to do is come over the edge and a little bit over the end. I'm going to nip off this corner again. Put a little glue in there and hold it in place with a push pin. Same thing down at the bottom. What this is going to do is it's going to provide just a little bit of a softness and a little bit of push to our memory board. Cut this little nip off again, both sides. Little extra glue. Now some of you may not have a little glue gun. You can do this entire thing with the push pins. A little more hot glue over here. If you find you want to leave them there until you're working on the sides, that's fine. The next step that we're going to proceed to is putting our fabric cover on. Flip this over and see which way my fabric is going to look the best. In this case, because the fabric actually has a print that can go any direction, I'm actually just putting it on and making sure that I have enough on each end to wrap around. Smooth it over. And up on this side. We're going to do the same thing on this side with the glue, but we are definitely going to add some push pins to this. The little hot glue tend to sometimes not push through easily, so I'm helping this one. I'm going to pull my fabric into place and put a push pin right here to help hold it. Same thing down here, and a push pin to hold it. The best little push pins for this are these little flat ones. They're not very fancy. And because I have one under here holding this corner, for me, I'm going to pull it out and use it for this corner, so that I don't leave it under the fabric. Same thing on this end. The glue is set under there, so I'm going to pull it out and help set this. To get it taut across the front so we don't have wrinkles, grab your fabric and give it a little pull just before you put the glue on it. Now with the glue on it, again, you've already tried it, gotten it taut, pull it again, hold it in place. Pull it taut, hold it in place. Push pin, pull it taut, hold it in place, let that glue help. And now we've got this side done. We're going to fold this just like you would a Christmas package. Just going to fold the ends over, pulling it taut again, and making sure that all the fabric is to the back. These corners, we're going to put a little glue underneath the edges, and we're going to put some under the edge here, but again, we're going to put a little push pin there to hold it in place. So everybody go ahead, take a minute to do this all the way around your glues and your push pins. Okay, so now we've put our batting on our boards. We've pulled the fabric over and we've thumbtacked them in place with the hot glue. The glue normally will be sufficient to hold it, but the tacks make sure it stays secure while we're working on everything. You can take these off or leave them on later. Because they're nice flat little tacks, you can just press them in, doesn't make any difference. So now we're going to do our ribbon side. Flip your boards over. The first thing you want to do on your ribbons is you want to make sure you do your corner to corner, corner to corner ribbon first. On the back side, I'm going to take a little bit of this ribbon here. I'm just going to take and just put a little dab of glue here. For some of you that don't again have the glue, feel free just to use a little tack, hold it in place. Flip this board over, take the ribbon down to the other corner, around. You can kind of get an idea that that's going to go around the corner. You'll need about that much more. Just nip off your ribbon and flip your board. Corner to corner, a little dab of hot glue. Put your ribbon across that hot glue. And again, no hot glue, no problem. Just as an example, I'll show you. You can take your little push pin, push it right down on the ribbon, and hold it in place right there. We're going to do this again now on the other corner to corner. Wanting to make sure that corner stays good and snug for me while that glue's setting up. Flip it over. over. Take your ribbon down corner to corner, a little bit under the edge. I'm going to nip that off. And take my glue gun and put this piece in place. When we flip our boards back over, we have this perfect little X in the middle. I'm going to take my glue gun, holding that X, and I'm just going to put a little spot of glue underneath the bottom, underneath the top, and we'll hold that little spot right there in the middle. We're going to continue to do these ribbon pieces across. My next piece, let's see, I think I want about that much space between there. You pick the distance you want out. For me, I'm going to put a piece here, and my next piece I'll put down here so I have a little bit on the corner also. Seeing approximately where I'm going to want it. Approximate distance there. I'm going to flip it over. This is where I want this piece here. Tap that into space right there. Take a look on this side. I want to pull it down to just about right there. Hold it in place. There. You can, if you'd like, put a little tack in there, even a little piece of tape to hold it on while you're getting your glue up under it. It's now glued in place. I'm going to take and nip this little piece of ribbon right there. And the next piece is going right here. I want it at the top there, holding it approximately where I want it at the angle. Flip it over. A little piece of glue under this end. Flip it over. See approximately where I'm going to want to go under. Holding it in place. Flip it over. Your glue gun or your push pin. Hold that down into place. So now when I flip it over this direction, rather than put my next two end pieces on here, I want it to have a kind of woven effect. So after I glue down my two little center pieces, my next pieces are going to come this direction. So that'll be my next step after I glue these two little pieces in the middle here. Again, just lift it up, little piece of glue, little spot of glue there, that holds that piece. Little spot of glue, little spot of glue. This is going to hold those pieces from shifting around. And I'm going to do my pieces this direction. One end. Make sure my angles are going to be correct. Little spot of glue. go. A little spot of glue. And don't forget, as we're going along through this, if I'm going too fast, feel free to stop your video, catch up, and then start it back up again. If I'm not going too fast, if I'm going too slow, feel free to let it run, have a little cup of tea. I'll be caught up with you in a moment. Now, this particular craft is good for both the gentlemen and the ladies. Gentlemen, I know it looks like maybe you're thinking, oh, that's too girly for me. No, really, put one of these together, put it out in your man cave or out in your garage. You can tuck the notes up there, your honey-do list, anything along those lines. Just do it with maybe not so flowery a piece of fabric. If you want it to be a little more, do one with some John Deere tractor fabric. Do a little camo print. Okay, now I've done the other two pieces. Again, I'm going to go back now and I'm going to glue my little corners here, or my little spots underneath where they cross over. Little dots of glue. Now you can make these at any size. You can make them considerably larger. You can make them fractionally larger, depending on the space you want. These work really nice in office areas. They work great in the kitchen. Put it by the back door in the laundry room, any place that you need to put up a note or a reminder, or put them in a nice place where you can tuck pictures of the grandkids and the family photos in. These would also be really cute done in different type of holiday prints for different holidays. So now we have our end pieces here that we're going to want to go ahead and put our last pieces in. So go ahead and take the time to get those last little bits of ribbon put in there, and we'll catch up again. Okay, so now that we have our ribbons in place, again, we're going to go in, we're going to tack all the little loose spots that cross over. And a little bit of glue dotted under each one. This keeps these ribbons from shifting, so it helps to hold anything that we put on here in place. Check up, there's one that needs gluing. Sneak a little glue. Oh, there's another one up there. Just kind of go through, tap them with your finger. See if you've got glue under them all. Add another glue stick here. The little glue sticks do run out quickly. Okay. I think that we've got everything woven, everything's glued in place. That one could use a little more. So now that we've gotten to this point, we've glued all these little pieces down in the middle. You could actually, if you'd like, leave it like this. However, I think it adds kind of a cuteness or another little prettiness to it if we go through and at each intersection we cover these little spots with something more fun. You can use the buttons if you want to use buttons. In this case, today I think I'm going to use these little rhinestones. They are very cheap. You could buy a little flat of them for $1 at the 99-cent store. You can buy them at the Walmart. Just cut them each apart. One way of doing that, if you don't want to cut them, just hold your finger there and snap it apart. These particular ones have a little bit of sticky on the back, so you can kind of set them on there, but it will not hold for very long. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another little dot of glue on the top of each intersection and put my button or my rhinestone on in that fashion. Cut it apart, add my little dot, and put it in place. If you find something else that you think would be fun to add to those, little glass stones, little seashells, any little something to add just on that intersection of the ribbons to have it be just a little more fun. It's always fun doing these different projects. I know we're still not together yet. Hopefully all this is over, we'll be able to sit down in our classrooms together. We'll still continue to video because we want to make sure we share with everybody. But it will be very nice to get back with all of you in person. Don't forget, if there are 20 sets of supplies for each of our crafts paintings, make sure you call in if you need to get some of those. Hopefully you can get in before we have all 20 of them given away. Each month we do a new craft, a new jewelry, and a new painting. If you're having difficulties, give us a call. Let us know that you're having trouble either getting on our page, or that maybe your friend is not having an easy time getting on. Give us a call. We'll do what we can to get you all to where you can watch these. YouTube, Facebook, our website. Senior Kicks Club is for keeping us together, keeping us active, keeping our brains doing things, helping us to have a little friend on the end of that video. So we've put our rhinestones on, and now we're going to finish those up. Your finished product should look something like this. And that each little area loose where you can put a card or a picture in. If you want to add a little ribbon on the back to hang it, that's fine too. It's been fun doing this project with you. I hope you have as much fun with it